Good morning and welcome to Belinda's Baubles, episode 34. As you can hear, I still don't really have a voice, but at least I think I'm loud enough now where you'll be able to hear me, which is why you haven't seen me. By the 26th of December, I came down with a severe sinus infection that ended up going into bronchitis with my asthma, and then it went into laryngitis. Even though I'm 2 weeks out from any infection, I still don't have much of a voice. And so that's why I haven't been on here recording, because, as I said, this is twice the voice that I've had recently. With my work, I talk all day, and even though this does not hurt, my throat's not even sore. It just, the voice is not there, and it's taking me longer to heal, I think, because of the fact that I do have to talk for work. So today is January 20th, 2026. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, all of that. And I am so sorry I haven't been around for the beginning of the topping out mail. Mandy's had to carry it on her own so far, and I do apologize, Mandy. I've been going into Ravelry from time to time, but my brain power just has not been there. But I wanted to catch you guys up and do a little bit of a video at least before I head into work. So I hope that you're all doing well. I'll go over a few things that are happening in the end, but welcome to the new year. Come on, 2026, we've got to do better. Okay, so since it's been a while since I've seen you, I know not everybody watches the daily vlogs or the Vlogmas. If you want to go back, there's several different standalone episodes that you might find interesting. I did a 4-part short story that Sam wrote, which was almost a play. He didn't quite carry out what I was asking for, but it's called Does God Believe in Santa Claus? And I really did enjoy that, and Sam enjoyed writing it. If you want to see what Bill's been up to, my brother, find the Vlogmas that has to do with the Christmas market and Grapevine, because he went with me and he showed off a few of his newest makes. So you might go check that one out. I also made jelly for the first time. Some mistakes there as far as how to hold the tools and everything, but it was my first time and I was just winging it to a large degree. But it was beauty berry jelly, and I'm about halfway through the ones that I made between giving them away and everything else to family members. And my understanding is they've already gone through their first jars, so next year I'm going to have to make quite a bit more. So we've, I could go on and on. So I don't know how long my microphone is going to hold out. I'm watching that green light because I went down there and found I had not had it charging. So let's see where we can go. So first up is going to be my finished objects. I have my first one on right here. This was my one of my 2 Advent projects. Let's see. This is the Threadkeeper Cowl by Helen Stewart that was part of her Knit Vent 2026. And I did a few changes. For one, I didn't make it as long. Believe it or not, this is not as long as she called for. And I also used 2 different very similar yarns for the 2 ribs. And the bottom rib, I changed it out because I wanted it to flare out. This is not how she had it written. She had it just as a straight cowl. Excuse me. Like I said, we'll see how long my voice lasts. But let me go over to my notes here. I didn't get anything printed out, so I'm having to rely on my computer. Where did I put that? The first one. Okay. Yep. So I did 23 of the minis for the color work here, and then the 24th and a similar one for the other that was part of Mandy's advent from last year that matched really well to it. On the bottom, what I did was I did knit 2 and then knit front and back all the way around to make it flare out, and then did 10 rows. And I like the way it kind of goes in. I am considering this a finished object, even though I have not woven any of my ends. It looks like a shag in the back and has a tail that runs out the bottom. But I'm still considering it a finished object. So that's number 1. Number 2 was my winter coat. It's the Big Triangle by Hinterstein. Oh, and by the way, these were all scrappy yarns. So I don't know where they were made from or anything. It was part of my Advent swap. Get into this. It's been blocked. It's been worn a lot. And it is very warm. I made it with Cascade Yarns 220. And I ended up using, because I did size, what size did I do? I did a size large after swatching it and everything. And the reason for that was because holding 2 yarns together ended up being thicker than what it should have been, really. So I went down a size, and it's given me plenty of room. But I'm held together Cascade Yarn 220 in the color yellow. I used 6.25 skeins, which was 1,375 yards. And then I held it with Swiss Mountain Baby Camel and Silk. Now, I did some pulling in the arms where I was knitting in the round, but I'm okay with that. And so I was kind of expecting a little bit of pulling, but I wanted that camel and silk, the silk to make it stronger and the camel to make it even warmer. And as long as I have a layer of cloth underneath it, like long sleeves, short sleeves, I can feel the air come through a little bit. If I have long sleeves on, I get so hot in this. And I've tested it down to about 30 degrees, and it's perfectly comfortable, especially with a cowl or a hat on. So the camel is undyed. And then my buttons, which I'll show you a little closer, were made by Maureen with Charming You. They're acrylic buttons, and she made these special order to go with the coat specifically. And this is, I can't remember who I bought this from, but I got it at the DFW Fiber Fest. Is the coolest thing in the world. Look, take a look at this. And then you've got a little piece of leather here to go across it. And what I use this for is whenever I'm outside, it's super cold, I attach it and close up the collar a little bit more. Okay. So let me see what kind of notes I have on here. Yeah, it's supposed to have about 5 inches of positive ease, which I think that really did do. And it called for more decreases in the sleeves, but I had decreased it 9 times before starting the garter edge. And I was a little worried because I thought I had it plenty long. And then when I went to put it on at the end, it didn't quite, it was riding up a bit. But once I blocked it, it did great. Let's see here. And I did my button band for 11 rows and the collar for 11 rows. So those were a little bit different from what's in the pattern. It is a paid for pattern, so I don't want to go into any much more detail, but here, let me show you what I can here. I got some really good length on it. My other button, I'm going to have to tighten my buttonholes up a little bit. And it's got a little bit of a flare at the bottom. Now I did change out the pockets a bit. The way it's written is when you get to this edge here, it's supposed to go across and just be sealed up at that point. I want it a little bit more. And so I'm able to put my keys in there, you know, my phone for just a few minutes if I need to have hands free. But otherwise, you know, it's mainly just so in case I need to put my hands in it. But I love all this detailing on it. It does the same in the back. I know it's not as neat as it could be. I'm still learning some of my stitching and everything. But I am really happy with how this turned out. With all these garter details. Get you a little closer to the buttons so you can see these. Turn on a light here. Get you a little bit more. That's going to be too much. Okay. All right. I'm going to try to get a picture done so that I can show you that. But I really am, just checking my light, I really am loving this. And I mean, like I said, it is so, so warm, which I got to take it off for that reason. And then see on the Swiss Mountain, again, I used the 1,376 yards, which would have been, if I had it in skeins instead of in a cone, it would have been like 3.15 100-gram skeins. So, because it's a much thinner yarn. Then the 220. Okay. Oh, like I said, warm. Okay, bear with me for a moment. I'll be right back. I'm getting too hot in here with the door closed. There we go. I'm back. Okay. So that's two of them. Next up is the Hoodola. All right, so I was making this for a family member that was going to be moving to the far north. A few things changed, and that family member is no longer going north, and is going to be remaining here in Texas. So originally I was going to do the drawstring on the front, and I decided not to because I really love the edge on this. But with it being acrylic, because this is done in adult medium, and I use Cascade Yarn Anthem in the color purple. Now this was 2.25 skeins, so 418.5 yards that I used altogether. I love this deep purple. Let me show you this edge. Isn't that pretty? Now I would like to, it's basically an I-cord edging. And I would like to do this in a wool so that I can actually block it out better. I did block this out with steaming over a pot, so it's out more than it was. It uses the Judy's Magic cast on up at the top. I had never done that before, and I'm very happy with how it came out. It took me 2 to 3 tries, but finally I got it. And then I couldn't find, very few of the notes in Ravelry said how long to make this. The pattern says for about 8 or 9 inches, I think, for this size. But I couldn't find anything that really said how long. It says to do it longer if you're wanting to make it into the balaclava. And I couldn't find anything that said exactly how long people were doing. There were a few that said 12 inches, 10 inches. It was very inconsistent. And so I ended up deciding to do 10 inches. And I'm glad I did, because otherwise it probably would have been too long. Now, the easiest way I'm finding to put this on is to go ahead especially if you're wanting to do the balaclava. I need to fix that. Sticking out a little bit. Okay. Is to go ahead and fold it up inside and then put it on. Let's see how I do. So as you can see, with 10 inches, it goes way over my ears. It goes over my nose. And that's another way you could wear this as far as just for warmth, is to bring it up over the ears, especially if you don't have the drawstring on it. But it has that little point back in the back here. So for mine, it ended up being 15 inches across the top, 15 inches for the hood, and then 10 inches for the ribbing. And even with acrylic, this is quite warm. So let's get the hair back at least somewhat decently. I did enjoy this as far as it just felt like the ribbing, of course, went forever. And stocking that back and forth is a little bit more tedious. But I am very happy with the final product. And this is something I would definitely make again. I want one for me. But here in Texas, it's like 25 degrees here today, and it's supposed to get down to where it's a high of 25 by Saturday. So I need to get this in the mail and get this off to my family member so she can enjoy it this weekend. Okay. Next. Oh, I didn't even say who that pattern was by. The Hoodola is by Laura Nelkin. And information over to my Ravelry page with the information on how I make notes and pictures. I'm still getting some pictures done. And then the original patterns and everything, there's a link there. So you can get over to that information there as well. So next is my Al or Tory by the Shetland Guild of Spinners, Knitters, Weavers, and Dyers. This was the 2026 Shetland Wool Week hat. And I did order, let me get my notes up here. Okay, it's gotten hot enough in here that the air conditioner's trying to come on, and it's 26 degrees outside. Hold on a second. Sorry about that. Okay. So I did order Jamieson's of Shetland Spindrift from a local shop here. I'll put the name down here. Brain power is still not great, but I am really loving how this turned out. Yeah, would I have changed some of the order I did? Some of it I probably would as far as for another one, but I'm still happy with it. And let's see, so the colors. The gold color is color number 1160, Scotch Broom. Again, this is Jamieson's of Shetland Spindrift. Then the purple is Loganberry, color 1290. The pink is Sherbert, 188. The turquoisey color is Nighthawk, color 1020. And then the pale gray is Pebble, color 127. And this was a very inexpensive pattern, and they gave you choices between doing 5 or 7 colors. I ended up just doing the 5 because I wanted to do Shetland wool. And again, I haven't woven my ends in. I've been wearing it like crazy. Even being fingering weight wool, this thing is warm. Now I did, Bill did his with fewer repeats. He's done one of these also because he didn't want it necessarily going over his eyebrows, which this does because of it going over the earlobes. And it does not have a cuff really that can go up very easily. It's just not made to do that. But I did want it going over my ears. Okay. So the next one I have, I'm going to have to do a picture here because this was one that I started in 2023 for Seaver. It's a good scarf by Barbara Benson. I used Cascade Yarn Heritage in the color Pine, which is color number 5608, and Hank Me Home Tonight's Squishy Sock in Snake Juice. Both purchased, most of the yarns I'm showing today were purchased at On the Lamb yarn shop in Grapevine. Now I started this, when did I start this? It's going to show me here somewhere, isn't it? I started November 9th, 2023. I don't like making scarves. I just don't. So it took me longer than it should have. But I did make it in time for Christmas for Seaver. I cast it off and finished it on December 25th. So that was my one handmade Christmas present I got done this year. I know that's sad. I've got to do better for this year. But and then the hood I just finished in January, so that's part of the topping out mal. I think both of these are part of the topping out mal. I can't remember when I finished this one, but I am working on some of my items that I did cast on last year to be able to finish up for the topping out mal. If you're not familiar with it, Mandy with Mouse Witch Yarn and I are doing a make along. Started January 1st, going through March 31st. I'll have a link down below to information on it. Anything that you started before January 1st, 2026, you can enter it. You can double dip into both mine and Mandy's Ravelry. You can email us entries if you do not have Ravelry, and we will enter those in as well. And once a month, we'll be drawing pattern prizes. At the end of the make-along, Mandy will be drawing some prizes. She will only be doing physical prizes for those that are in Great Britain because of all the tariff things and the postage and everything that's going on. Now, I'm going to be drawing physical prizes at the end from the finished objects, and those will be going out worldwide as long as I can get it mailed to you. I did find out the Falkland Islands were not possible. Thankfully, my one winner last year or the year before from the Falkland Islands was going back home to England at one point in time, and I was able to send it there. So I will do my very best to get you your physical prize. So but you do have to watch both mine and Mandy's videos to find out who's winning things. Neither one of us get anything out of this other than we do get some new subscribers. So we do ask that you subscribe and watch us, and that helps grow our channels. So I do appreciate that. So information on, like I said, on all this is down below. It's like a 3-minute video promo, so it doesn't take long at all to see what's going on with it. Okay, back to regularly scheduled. So with the good scarf or a good scarf, I used the entire skein for both of them. I think I've got a little bit of a ball, like maybe 5 grams left of each of them, and that is it. I wanted to be able to use up the entire skeins on this. And I didn't get how long it was, but I was worried it wasn't going to be long enough, but I wanted this to be something that was reversible. So the cabling is, or the slip stitches is on both sides so that it is totally reversible. And Seaver has had this thing in his possession since I handed it to him. So this is why I got pictures. So you could see it. Okay. Was that it? That was it for my finished objects. Now, new construction should be in here. Yes. This is the Keepsake Bag by Helen Stewart. Again, part of her Knit Vent 2025. And this is my other Advent knitting. Now, my Advent was just 10 grams. And even with making the cowl and the bag, I have about 4 to 5 grams left of each of those. So I can do another bag for that matter. Now, I did make the dimensions a little bit differently. It is a paid for pattern, so I won't give you her dimensions or her cast on, but for me, I cast on 45 stitches, which was more than what it called for. Here is the garter stitch, kind of a box bottom. And then I did 73 rows, which was more than she had, including the bottom, before the border. Now, she has this seed stitch border, but it's flaring out, and I'm a little concerned because I've started on the handle. It's a knit handle. And whenever I hold it, it flips out. And I'm a little bit concerned about that. And I don't know if I'm going to need to go through and maybe tighten it up with some elastic thread at the end, or I may come back, take the handle off if I don't care for it. And I have some wooden handles that I got at a yard sale, and I may end up attaching the wooden handles. But I do like the size, and I'm glad I made it a bit bigger than what it called for, because this will be a good size to be able to put a sock, a sock or a one skein shawl, something along those lines in here as a project bag. Even cute enough that I could use it as a purse. So, still have, I didn't use, of course, all 24 skeins, but I got quite a bit of it in there. I think I ended up using 16, at least 16 of the colors. And then I have my Christmas sock. This is Vanilla is the New Black by Anea Fletcher. And I've done this in I think it was in a Cascade 6, so a sport weight before. And I'm catching up here. So I got the one heel done. And I've actually made these longer than I normally do. And I've cast on the 72 for the leg because I have a little bit of a cankle. But at the foot, I'm going back down to 64 after the heel. And the way I got the heel, this color, was something that they had suggested, was I went inside the middle to be able to do the heel so I did not mess up the striping for the sock itself. So I am now at the point of playing catch up. I should have my needle stoppers on here. I have to go find what I did with my needle stoppers so that I can get the rest of this leg done, catch up to the heel, and then do the foot. I just kind of stalled out, and I was getting things done, finished up with other projects. So this is just for me, and I don't wear sock weight yarns or sock weight socks very often. They're around the house more so than at work or with one of my pairs of boots that I don't wear for work. For work, I wear DK socks mostly. So, okay. It's still going. Not paranoid much. If you were watching my Advent vlogs, you would know why I'm paranoid. I lost my sound a couple of times due to me not going back and charging in between. My own fault. Okay. I need y'all's help on this one. So now we're into under construction. I said my brain is not quite there. Let me get a sip of coffee. Sorry, I'm trying to give you as much voice as possible. Okay. So this is my corner to corner. I was thinking it was going to be a baby blanket. And I don't even have this on Ravelry because I was just teaching myself to do corner to corner. And I had 2 skeins of this Queensland Rainbow Cake self-striping organic cotton. It is fingering weight, number 2, with 875 yards. So it's equivalent to 4 skeins. And I was thinking it'd be enough for a baby blanket if I did half across and then come back. So this is how it's looking. And I am loving it. I'm just, I'm letting it do its own thing. It changes color where it changes color. So, it's a little uneven in places with some raggedy edges there. But overall, it's wonderful. And it would be a good size for a baby blanket. But this yarn has a tendency to be very splitty. And so my concern is whether or not it would be able to be, the baby would be able to claw at it or something, or get more. I don't know. So this is my concern. I can continue on and start decreasing and turn it into a baby blanket, or I could keep increasing and turn it into a huge shawl with all these stripes for me. One that would be big enough, I could crisscross it, tie it behind my waist and everything, which is how I like to wear a shawl. So what do you think? I need y'all's input. Please do leave a comment down below. What should I do? I'm at the halfway mark. I haven't gone any further because I needed y'all's input. Should I go ahead and make this into a baby blanket? I probably should, shouldn't I? Oh, I love the stitching. Or into a shawl. You tell me. Okay. And I am, with that finger, oh, what am I using? I'm using an H, I think. No, I'm using a G hook. And it is the 4.0 millimeter. This is a Hobby Lobby $3 crochet hook, which is my favorite. Now they start out catchy, but as you use them, they go real smooth. So what else was I supposed to go over? My mindfulness shawl. I was going to tell you all about where I was on my mindfulness shawl, and I forgot to bring it up here, so that'll have to go to next time. I think we've gone over quite a bit. I mean, we got our finished objects in, our new construction, and our under construction, so I think I did pretty good keeping my voice this long. I have a call coming in, sorry. All right, sorry about that. I had a call coming in that I had to take, and I do need to get going for work. So the only other thing I wanted to make sure I got done here was my day 25 skein. I wanted to show that to you guys, which included this cute little stitch marker. But it's a Madeline Tosh, and this was an exclusive colorway for YH Lakeside. Yarn Harbor is the yarn shop, Lakeside. Isn't that beautiful? Anne got her one, I got me one, and there is a friendship shawl that I'm wanting to do, which is a one skein shawl that I'm wanting to do with mine, but I'm not casting anything else on till I get my my under constructions under control. So next episode, we're going to talk about, should I whip or should I work, or not whip, but should I frog or continue with some of these under construction items? All right, I better get going. I will talk to you all soon, and y'all have a great day. Again, go put your chatter in because I'm going to be drawing a pattern prize soon. And the person who won my drawing from the last episode, it's on here somewhere. They've not contacted me, so I'm going to be redrawing for that prize. So catch you guys later, and my alarm's going off. I gotta go.